saying like these Belgium races helped a lot of. I learned a lot of things. That gave me the confidence not just to compete but to win a medal in the time trial. That even that's
Yeah.
why NJ and I every time we say that we definitely have a chance to get a medal on the Asian Cycling Champs any day, anytime. But
Mm, mm,
uh, yeah, but for that I think we need a lot of races. When
mm.
athlete is so motivated, so dedicated, and he can do anything, he don't have fear in his mind, then if you don't get that kind of coaching or mentoring or the guidance, you're just wasting a precious time of your life. That's why I started well inside coaching. And now I think I have like many athletes under 14 and under 16 categories. They are those young guys, and they are taking coaching seriously. Remember the future of Indian cycling, like where they are gonna be if they train consistency,
Yeah.
like consistent training for 10 years. So they are definitely going to be the Asian champs or maybe more than that.
I am Baiki Vinky, and this is the Working Athlete Podcast. Here, I talk to working athletes from all walks of life and experts from various sports to provide you with inspiration, training tips, time management, and lifestyle advice. If this is something that interests you, please make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future episodes. Today's guest is one of the most successful cyclists at national level. He's an inspiration for hundreds of thousands of riders from all across the country and mentors and coaches many young riders, getting them ready for the future. His name is Arvind Panwar. In this episode, we talked about his journey in cycling. We talked about his various medals at nationals and his performances in the international events representing India. We also talked about the changes in cycling over the years and how future is looking with more new talent coming up. Without much further ado, let us get into my conversation with Arvind Panwar. Welcome to the Working Athlete Podcast, Arvind. It's a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you, Venki. It's my pleasure as well. It's my first time being on the podcast. So thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Awesome. Arvind, let us start by talking about um, what is work for you currently.
Work for me, like in sense,
Yeah, so you work with the railways, and also VeloInsight is also part of your
yeah.
work, right? Yes. So let's talk a little bit about both.
Yeah, so I have a job in railways, and I got this chance to be part of the railways since 2012, and it's been
Mhm.
amazing journey because I think when you have a job, so you get a support, you have some kind of financial ability, strong, so you can support yourself, you can support your family, and support your sports as well.
Right.
So that has been the great thing side by side. But yeah, the Velo Insight, I just started in recently, just 3 years ago in 2019. I officially launched Velo Insight coaching and then decided to work with the athletes and share my knowledge.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So let us go a little bit back and start, talk a little bit about when did you get into cycling and how did you get into cycling?
Yeah, so it's been amazing journey when I remember my early days. So, you know, like before 10, 15 years, you do everything. You go for running, you play cricket and football, like everything whatever you can do in your gully mohalla as well. So
Right.
that was a same story with me. But in the school days, I used to go to school on my bike, and side by side, uh, I also loved many sports like football, cricket, and running as well. So before coming into cycling, I was doing running with my elder brother. He was also doing running, and he was quite good at that actually. He also won many medals in universities level, and yeah, then he became a state champion as well. So
Mhm.
then suddenly a moment came that my brother is there in athletics, so I think I should move to another sport. Then my cousin brother came into cycling, and when I heard, okay, you know Sachin, right?
Yes, Sachin Panwar.
Sachin Pawar, yes, yes. So he was doing many medals in MTV that time in 2005 and 6.
Hmm. Hmm.
So when I heard he's going this state, he's that state, so that kind of attracted me a lot. So I wanted to join sports as a, especially cycling for exploring things and
Hmm.
that part. So that was amazing to hear about cycling. It just attracted me a lot, and then at that time I didn't think that I'm gonna do it for professional as a
Hmm.
sport, but it's just for the enjoyment purpose.
Right.
And just yeah.
Yeah. So I remember Sachin Pawar because he was winning almost every race there is. He was a very strong cyclist, and he used to come down to Bangalore for taking part in BBCH races as well. And I remember one particular race where he lapped the entire field and won solo. He was a very strong cyclist. So no wonder he became your inspiration at that time. So what year did you get started into cycling?
So basically, I bought my first bike in 2006. Actually,
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
2005, I went to watch a nationals in Haryana that time with Sachin.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think that time I was in a school doing my study. I don't know which class then, and but
Hmm.
just to just to explore how national these cycling races happen in India. So I went there and see, and there as well he won many races.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
that was a kick. Okay, the sports looking good, and I think I can do something good in this. Yeah,
Hmm.
and to be honest, my family, especially my parents, my father was into this physical fitness because he could not go to any sports and he could not do at any like professional level, but he was keen to do some fitness work. He did a lot of sports in his time, so he
Hmm.
always encourages us, like both of us, me and my brother, to do something else. So
Oh,
I was good in the studies as well, but it was kind of fixed thing. Okay, we have to go in the sports.
right. Right.
So
So
then I changed my mind, and yeah, doing athletics. I did. I played cricket as well for a year, and then football, and it all happened before meeting and going to these cycling races.
okay.
So then I
Hmm.
decided to switch, yeah, from all these sports to cycling.
Uh, so decided to focus on cycling and started taking part in these races, cycling races.
Yeah. So answer to your question, when I bought my first bike, so it was Indian bike,
Hmm.
Indian Hero Hawk, and so I went with my father in Meerut city and bought this bike for the first. I was very excited, and I rode. I think for 1 year I was training on that bike.
Oh,
Then
so you have at least I have something in common with you. My first bike was also a Hero Hawk.
I think everyone has the same. But yeah, kids like these today, they have a different thing.
Right. Hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent. So then when was at what time did you kind of realize that okay, I am good at it, and then started doing well in those races?
So what I understand about the sports, I think it's not just about winning the races, Venki. I think, as I told you, my parents,
Hmm.
उनका माइंडसेट बहुत अच्छा था, तो ही
Hmm.
ऑलवेज उन्होंने हमें यही सीखा है कि आपको जो भी काम करना है वो दिल से करना है और अच्छे से करना है, तो
Hmm.
वही आई थिंक आई हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ फीलिंग एंड दैट आई काइंड ऑफ मेंटालिटी इन मी. So
Hmm.
like कि हारना नहीं है और नो जस्ट टू परफॉर्म वेल एंड गिव योर 100% काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स. तो
Right.
वो मेरे अंदर कहीं पे था. तो whenever I go to the races, I almost win those races at
Mm,
local level in the
mm,
beginning. And
mm,
even if I remember very well, that was my first nationals in Hyderabad, track nationals. So I
mm.
participated in track nationals first time. So that was my first national, and that was track.
Okay.
Yeah, and even I don't have a bike that time. So I have a story to tell about this. When I heard, I called Sachin that time that where are you going to the training for these nationals? So he
Mm,
said there is no road nationals first, then it's going to be a track national first. Okay, but he was selected for India camp, and I was at home. So then I decided to go to Delhi. So I go to Delhi and take a room on rent, and I was just living there alone. So 5 days I was training in Delhi. Every day I was going to the track, and that time in 2007. It was like open velodrome,
mm,
330 meters
mm.
open velodrome. So I was the only guy training in the early morning there, because it was cold in January, February. It's foggy there,
Yeah.
and I was just riding on that blue line, just round and round like 1 or 2 hours continued on my road bike.
Mm,
I don't know why I was doing this, but then one day these Air Force boys come for training,
mm,
and then they came one day, they came again, and they saw me. Like, who's this guy riding every day? They don't even know my name, and I don't know who's these guys were, but I was there. They were looking me.
mm.
So one day, uh, Sandeep Malik, a senior guy from Air Force. Yeah, so he was quite senior. Like, I don't think many people know him right now, but yeah, he was a good
Mm,
athlete that time, very respected from Air Force. And he came to me one day and said, "Okay, why are you training so hard?" I said, I want to participate in track nationals." "Okay, do you have a bike?" "No, I don't have bike." So then I don't know what came to his mind, but he said, "Okay, I'm going to give you my bike in nationals."
wow.
So I was very
Mm,
happy that day. Yeah, I was training hard, and then I don't have any contact with him, but
mm,
we meet in Hyderabad at nationals.
mm,
Then he definitely like really helped.
mm.
तो उन्होंने अपना बाइक दिया मुझे, एंड मुझे नहीं पता उसमें क्या गियर रेशो था, क्या था.
Uh,
आई जस्ट टूक हिज बाइक एंड या. तो और मैं क्वालिफाई हुआ, क्वालिफाइंग परशूट में,
right.
क्वालिफाइंग. एंड फॉर द फाइनल्स I also asked him. He said, "I am going to do my team because
Mm,
team events काफी important था वो टाइम पे."
mm, right.
तो मैंने कहा, "सर, मेरा अभी इवेंट है, अभी क्या करूँ?" आपने बाइक दिखाया, अभी फिर से दिखाना पड़ेगा.
Uh, uh,
मुझे बाद में उन्होंने बताया कि मैं आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू चेंज माय गियर रेशो. मैं ओके,
uh,
आई डोंट माइंड व्हाटएवर गियर इज, जस्ट गिव मी योर बाइक. आई एम गोइंग टू राइड इट.
right.
So he gave me his bike and I rode, and I won a bronze medal. So that was my first medal.
Wow.
And then he
Great.
told me that it was 100 gear ratio. So that time 100 was a big number because he was using it in a team time trial.
Team
And
team
I
uh,
was
team time trial. They will go
no team
faster.
pursuit.
So team pursuit they'll go faster, and that's why they need a bigger gear. And you
Yes,
ended up
yes.
riding the same gear in an individual pursuit.
Yeah, so I was junior guy under 18. Yeah,
Wow.
that was amazing.
So that
So
that was
yeah, that was the story.
yeah, that was amazing, right? So you didn't even have any kind of hopes of getting selected, but you wanted to be there. You went
Yes,
there on your own to Delhi to practice, and as you know, someone there. Sandeep Malik, you were saying, right?
yes,
So he saw your passion and offered to help.
yeah,
I think this is a fantastic story. You and then you guys met in Hyderabad, and you won your first national medal on a borrowed
yes,
bike. What
yeah.
a fantastic story!
Yeah, Yeah. So after that I think I bought my first bike, like
Mm,
first imported bike. It was Loop road bike I bought, and then I also
mm,
got selected for the Indian camps, and yeah, then the journey started.
that is amazing, right? So 2007 was your first nationals, and then uh, from then on, 2008, 9, how did your performance in nationals progress?
Yeah. So that year, I don't know if there was any nationals or maybe, but the next year in 2008, there was nationals in Karnataka, Erode, if you
Mm,
remember or not.
mm,
Erode, there was a national. So I always like time trials, like from the beginning itself. I
right.
don't know why, but, riding training and training alone. So I think individual time trial is the best thing to do.
Mm,
So that was my favorite event. So in 2008, again, I just clipped on bars on my road bike and did a time trial, and again I got the bronze medal in a time trial in
mhm.
road race. In
Okay.
yeah, in 2009 as well. Then I selected for the camp for the Commonwealth Games.
Okay.
So 1 year before the Commonwealth Games, I was selected for that camp. Actually, I trained hard for that because I heard that I was junior, I was passionate, and if you get the chance to represent your country at early age, so I think it's gonna be more,
Yeah.
yeah, beneficial. So
Mm,
that in 2009 I was there. I don't know what happened there, but I didn't get select for the next year.
mhm.
So
You mean for
so
the Commonwealth Games?
Commonwealth Games, yeah. Just
Okay.
like like 15 20 days before the Commonwealth Games. In the final trials, I was there, but
Mm,
the final trials was on the velodrome, and
mm,
then 3 days later, एक road time trial भी था उसमें 15 boys. Can you imagine 15 boys थे India के top 15. I
mm,
was the 15th,
mm,
and I thought I'll be selected. I gave a time trial, but I was the
mm,
15th. Out of
mm.
15, I was 15th in time trial.
Uh,
So that day, no, I was just sitting on the edge of the road. I was just sleeping there and maybe more thinking
mm,
कि अभी क्या कर सकता हूँ मैं, मतलब इस बार द फर्स्ट टाइम कि 15 लड़के टाइम ट्रायल
mm,
में हैं और मैं 15 हूँ.
mm. The
तो
last.
उसने थोड़ा,
Mm,
हाँ, बहुत हिलाया मुझे, सेलेक्ट भी
mm,
नहीं हुआ. और बट दैट वाज द द टर्निंग पॉइंट. ओके, नाउ आई थिंक it's time to move on. And then I realized my mistakes, what I did, and how to improve my performance.
mm.
So after that, there was track nationals. And in track nationals, again in a point race, I got a bronze medal. So
Okay.
I got a lot of bronze medal that time.
Mm.
So I was
uh,
thinking, why I'm getting, when I was junior, I won bronze medals. When I'm senior, it's my first senior medal, and it's again the bronze. I
okay.
wanted to change that, yeah.
Mm,
So in 2011, there was national games in Jharkhand.
mhm.
So that was my first good time trial in senior, actually, senior
Okay.
category. Was
Mm,
the time trial. I was fourth there, but when you know something, or that was a time trial that was eye opening for me. उस टाइम ट्रायल से मुझे इतना नॉलेज मिला, जस्ट फॉर द सेल्फ. मुझे अपने
mm,
लिए ऐसा लगा कि जैसे आज मुझे टाइम ट्रायल का गुरु मंत्र मिल गया है.
mm,
और आई एम गुड. और उसी दिन मैं आई वाज फोर्थ, बट I said to myself, okay, next time trial, whatever it is, whatever place it is, I'm going to
mm.
win that. और ऐसा ही हुआ. तो उसके बाद एक नेशनल्स था, उसमें मैंने आई थिंक सिल्वर लिया. और उसके
In-
बाद फिर 2012 से मेरा जर्नी एक्चुअली रियली स्टार्ट
mm,
हुआ. आई गॉट द रेलवेज
mm.
job, and then I took 3 gold in that nationals.
So 2011 was your first silver medal, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
And then in 2012, you was the turning point, the turning year, and that is where you got you three gold medals.
Gold medal, yes.
What were these events in that got you three golds?
Yeah, so in 2012, so this was the year in Muzaffarpur, Bihar. I got the gold medal in individual time trial under 23, then gold in the team time trial, and then gold in the senior road master.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So and in this race, in this road race, we were six guys. I don't know all six guys, but Naveen John was there, and Sachin Panwar was there, Omkar Jadhav was there. I think Gurmeet Singh from Army, and one more guy was there. Like we were six guys, and we did a breakaway, fantastic breakaway, and yeah, just 10 kilometers from the finish, I just launched the attack, and then I just solo finished for the gold in a senior master. So that was my starting journey, kind of
right. Yeah. So yes, I think 2012 was the first time Naveen John participated in the nationals as well. So it was his first nationals.
Yes.
Okay, so did you take part in individual time trial, elite individual time trial as well that year, or only under 23?
Under 23, because in 2012, under 23 category came to India. Before that, there were only two categories, like under 19, and then you are just senior. So in 2012, CFI introduced this under 23 category that year. So there, in 2000 from 2013, they changed it again. If you have a job, you cannot participate in under categories. You are elite, whatever your age is.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was my last chance to participate in under 23.
And that is it that year that you got the railway job as well?
Yeah, oh, that was the year in 2012. Like it's one of my favorite year, you can say, because that year I got the job. I got my first international tour. I represented Indian Railways in Czech Republic at World Railways.
Wow.
Yeah, so and there as well I got the bronze medal for the first time. We got a bronze medal in World Railways. I was the first Indian to finish the road race in that category.
Wow, beautiful. So this bronze medal at the World Railways competitions, was it for, in the time trial or the road race master?
So they have a good like criteria in World Railways. Yeah, from each railways, each countries, there are six participants, and each six of them participate in each event. Like there are three events: individual time trial, team time trial, and road race. So it's kind of stage race, for 3 days.
Okay.
So all riders participate in each category.
Okay.
That's amazing. Yeah, in the time trial, I think I remember I was about 28.
Okay.
So I was very late, behind, but yeah, that was amazing to participate. Yeah.
And come back with the first medal representing India at that stage. Is quite amazing, right? So from 2012 onwards, that is your turning point year, you have been consistently winning many races, right? Many medals at nationals. So from 2013, you started participating as elite in the nationals. So how were those initial years, like 2013 and 14, like that?
तो वेंकी that was time when देखो इंडिया में इतना रेसिस होता था वो टाइम पे, because commonwealth 2010 में इंडिया में ही था, तो उसकी वजह से स्पॉन्सर्स वर एक्टिव, एंड फेडरेशन वर एक्टिव एंड लोट ऑफ private organizations were active and there were a lot of races that time. तो
Hmm.
लग रहा था कि जैसे साइकिलिंग का फ्यूचर बहुत ब्राइट है, और नो देयर वर लॉट ऑफ रेसेस. You have a kind of calendar. Oh, there is a race in Chandigarh, then there is a race in Bangalore, then there is a race in Mumbai. A lot of races, and even federation as well. They announced that okay, we are going to send a team in the Asian Champs. There is a team will go to Asia Cup. A lot of international competitions were there as well, and even they were talking about the international coaches as well, that we are going to hire an international coach for you guys, and we have this thing and that competition. So that was, I think that was the better time than now,
Hmm.
if we compare. Yeah,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
there was a lot of India camps, and teams were doing good, a lot of races were there, and everyone was trying to just compete with each other and with a good sportsmanship.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that time again in 2013, I remember there was first Asian cycling championship in India, if you
Hmm.
remember.
Hmm.
Yeah. So see, right from the 2012, I was doing good. I was at best of my cycling career, and when you
Hmm.
heard that okay, next year you have Asian cycling championship in India, so I was very
Hmm.
excited for that,
Hmm.
and I was training hard, you know, and trying to get the best equipment as well, and government also supporting. So those 2 3 years in 2014, there were Commonwealth Games again
Hmm.
in Scotland.
Right.
So then we have a lot of international competitions to participate, then तो एक
Hmm.
बूस्ट मिल रहा था एथलीट्स को, साइकिलिंग को इम्प्रूवमेंट था बहुत ज्यादा वहाँ पे. एथलीट्स को पता है कि इफ यू डू गुड यू कैन रिप्रेजेंट योर कंट्री एट
Hmm.
इंटरनेशनल लेवल.
Right. So why?
तो मोटिवेटेड था. Mhm.
So what do you think changed from then to now? Why do you think we are not participating as much in the Asian and Commonwealth Games and stuff like that from the road cycling perspective?
So according to me, I think for the Commonwealth Games 2010, 2010 sorry, वो टाइम पे फेडरेशन ने कोच लेके आए थे बाहर से, ऑस्ट्रेलिया के कोच थे ग्राहम सीव्स. तो
Hmm.
उनका एक पैटर्न था. सो दे ट्रेन इंडियन एथलीट्स फॉर एग्जैक्टली 1 year बिफोर द कॉमनवेल्थ गेम. So they taught athletes a pattern of training, how to train yourself, how to organize a camp, kind of things, and taking things seriously and make your annual training plan like ATP,
Hmm. Hmm.
for a year.
Hmm.
So that time we have a date, and so comparing to that time to now, I think a lot of difference is the racing itself. Then
Hmm.
we were doing a lot of training hard, because then we had a purpose that we are going to represent the country at no international level. But
Correct.
now I think if you remember, since 2016, uh, like federation itself and just turn towards the track cycling more.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Then and because they are focusing on the track cycling, so road events are going less. No,
Hmm.
so now we only have like Asian champs in mind and nothing
Hmm.
else. Because
Right.
and now they have a point as well, because we are not performing well. Because what you can do at one event, if you are going there, like there is just one international event in 1 year.
Hmm. Correct.
And because of corona, there is no Asian champs in 2020, there is no Asian champs in 2021 this year as well. So दो
Yeah.
साल से अभी कोई इंटरनेशनल इवेंट्स हमने नहीं खेला है. We cannot go outside for training as well. So
Right.
and you just only have nationals, and so I think that is more motivated, and you don't
Hmm.
get that at this level of competition. I think you need more competitors as well. You need more racing.
Yeah.
That is the more difference that time and I think now.
Yeah, I think the more you raise, the better you become, and the more you will improve and
Yeah,
do well in those races at that level,
yeah,
right?
definitely.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
makes
think at this
sense.
level, like at elite level now, I think that if you have more competitors like you, if you have like bigger goals,
Hmm.
like personally, I think just if you say, okay, there is nationals, I don't get that kind of boost right now
Hmm.
for the nationals because I'm doing it repeatedly every time, you know.
Right.
But if you say, I think that
Yeah.
uh,
If you have like
potential,
something outside, something beyond the
yeah,
nationals,
right,
then that kind of lifts you up more, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So that makes sense. So when was the first time you uh, became a national champion in elite level?
In 2013
Hmm.
itself. So there was
Right.
nationals in Haryana. I still remember, and
Hmm.
yeah. So as I told you, in 2011, I did that time trial in Jharkhand in national games. I don't know what happened in that time trial. That just gave me, a kind of trick.
Right.
Okay, this is the thing that this is the way of doing a time trial. Actually, that was the time. तो उसने
Right.
इतना सिखाया उसके बाद मुझे काफी कॉन्फिडेंस आया टाइम ट्रायल्स को लेके एंड देन आई जस्ट गेटिंग बेटर एंड बेटर एंड yeah,
Hmm.
so I just every year like I'm improving uh,
Hmm.
within myself.
Yeah. So that
2013 at elite level I got the gold.
hmm. That is and then in 2014, was it NJ that got the gold at
Yeah,
2014? So since
yes,
then, I think you guys have been doing a Jugalbandi of sorts with, taking them, taking him taking the medal, you taking it back,
yeah,
and all that, right? So
yeah,
that has been fascinating to watch with the competition between you and Naveen John.
yeah.
Right from then, it was really fascinating to watch. So what that kind of rivalry and friendship that you guys share, right? How did it impact the uh, performance, your own performance, and the scene, cycling scene in general?
Yeah. So like everybody knows Naveen like is really kind hearted and he do at his best whatever he's do and for the sport he's the only guy in India who just dedicated 100% to the sport. Even I cannot say this thing to myself because I have a family to support. I have a job, now I have athletes as well and some personal issues I have. But no, in terms of Naveen, I think he's a kind of guy. He has just saved himself for these things. I know he also have a lot of responsibilities as well, but yeah. So like he has changed the scenario in India, especially for cycling, because
Hmm.
he's so dedicated, and I also learned a lot of things from him because I remember a time when we were in Belgium. हम लोग वहां पे थे, so he's the guy who plans everything to the limit and so
Yeah.
yeah. So like everyone else, when you have a good seniors with you, you have someone who you can learn from. So definitely you level yourself up as well.
Hmm.
And everybody has some pros and cons in his character. But when you have guys like Naveen And yeah, so on the bike, we definitely people see us as rivalry, but over the bike, we are really good friends. We share a lot of experiences.
Yeah, yeah.
And so by then, I can tell you in 2013 I got the gold, and then in 2014 NJ took the gold just by the half of seconds.
Half a second, half a second. Yeah.
So we are just both maintaining our fitness that time, and and he also learns from his mistakes like we do. But I think he has that capacity. He noticed like the smallest thing in a situation, and in 2015 I again got the gold. I think he was not there
He
in
was
national.
injured. He was injured
Yeah,
in 2015. Yeah.
yeah, so the nationals was in Kerala in the hilly side area. That was amazing, and yeah, and since then he's doing good. I'm doing good again, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, this is fascinating, right? Like you said, his dedication is top notch. And his planning is very meticulous. Uh, and the great thing about both of you that I observed is, kudos to you as well, because your attitude is something that I we don't see very often. Like what I noticed is that you are willing to learn, and you don't have that ego saying ये किससे सीखना है, I know better and all that. So that is the great thing that I noticed about you, is that you are willing to learn, eager to learn, and open for suggestions, and open for learning all the time, be it from anybody, right? And that kind of attitude is amazing to have. And I think that kind of opened, that is what makes you an inspiration for so many others, like that keeps you going for the length that you have been going on for now. Like you started in your first nationals was in 2007, and first medal was in 2007, and you are still winning medals after all these years. That kind of tells you something, that your hunger is there, your hunger to learn is there, and your humility is amazing. That I don't know much, but I still have so much to learn, right? That is the kind of humility you have. Although you have ton of experience, you know so much, but you are willing to put yourself in a position of learning more and more every day, and improving every day. So I think that, for me, as an observer from so many years, both you and NJ are like two pillars of Indian cycling that lifted the scene up really, really well. So thank you for that, because it doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen with one guy. I fully acknowledge what you said about how NJ contributed by that attitude of lifting the whole scene up, right? He was the one who was training with power meters for the first time, who was engaging a dedicated coach and planning the entire year and all these things. And you were open enough to learn all those things, and you were teaching those things for a larger audience up north and stuff like that, right? So that is what contributes to the whole cycling scene improving, I think.
yeah, definitely, Venki. Because in this context, my thinking is that because cycling India is very low if you compare to the global cycling. And when I think that what we are doing, so even when a younger athlete tells me something, I listen to him very carefully. Maybe in just maybe he knows something that I don't know. Maybe he's doing something differently, but I don't know, and maybe that thing can help me. You know,
Hmm.
I have my own way of training. I have my own way of planning my day. But maybe maybe
Yeah.
some these younger guys have something what I'm not doing. Maybe I'm missing something. So
Yeah.
I definitely listen to them, and yeah. So I learned a lot of from NJ, and even
Hmm.
now you tell me that I have open to learn. I have this story from 2016 when Ciclo team racing opened.
Hmm.
You know, so I was training in Dehradun that time, and in February 2016. Yeah. So NJ called me that morning. And he said, hey, Arvind, yeah, man, I have a good news for you. Okay, and please tell. He
Hmm.
said, there is some guys in Chennai and they want to open a team.
Hmm.
Okay, and then and he said, so we are going the two core athletes for this team. So I was so excited, and then uh, so then I just traveled to Chennai and we meet up there in Chennai, and it was a launch of the Ciclo team racing. And I still remember Naveen and Chantil, Chantil Mohan.
Correct.
These guys opened the Instagram account for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think just before that, or maybe in the next year, I started using Strava. So
Hmm.
these guys helped, and I was there, and listen to them. Okay, how these things work, how these things do.
Right.
Yeah, so definitely I'm always open to hear suggestions from
Hmm.
anybody, and yeah,
Yeah.
everybody's doing his part, and I'm
Yeah.
very lucky to have these guys in my life, and we all are lucky that like everybody is doing his job very well, and
Yeah.
NJ is doing a great part there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah, that is that, like you said, right? Everyone has a role to play, and and everyone is contributing to that. Uh, like when like NJ would put it, and all ships will rise if the tide rises, right? So everyone will rise if the cycling scene in India rises. So the kudos to you and NJ for the kind of work that you guys are doing to impart your experience and knowledge to others the way you guys are doing. Right.
yeah, and as you said, like it was fascinating to see our Jugalbandi. So I'm I'm actually happy this year that some guys are coming.
Yeah.
This was the first year when I was not on the podium
Hmm.
in March nationals. So
After a
and I'm
long time.
yeah, so actually I'm glad that athletes are not doing, and they're improving themselves. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows, okay, leave the first two places and then you can compete for the bronze. But now I think,
Exactly.
yeah, now I'm glad that athletes are coming, they are improving. And even now, I can say, okay, there are like 4 or 5 athletes who you have to compete, and you never know, like the athletes who has the best day on that day who's gonna win.
Correct. Yeah. 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 That is the level of the field is rising. There are a lot of
Yeah,
young riders or newer riders are coming stronger and
yeah,
stronger, which is great to see. Yeah.
yeah. So now we have, when I started cycling, even after 10 years, I have this story like in from 2010 to 2015. I was doing training by my side,
Mm.
and I still remember I was preparing training plans for myself.
Mm.
And I learned that thing from that foreigner coach, Gramsci's, from 2010 when I was preparing for Commonwealth Games. So he taught us to plan your day and plan your training every day. So I got the idea from there, and then just creating training plans for myself and creating like everything. And then I got this opportunity to get a coach, and then yeah, so you basically improve little by little.
Hmm.
So yeah, it takes time, but just
Right.
keep going.
So you mentioned about joining the Ciclo team, right? Was it in 2017?
2016 and
16.
maybe
Yeah, 2016. So how did that kind of help your progression? What was the experience like joining that team? And also, I think you guys traveled to Belgium as a team and raced there. So how was that experience of being part of the team and racing outside and stuff like that?
yeah, so I can definitely say, and to be honest, like that was the best part happened to me so far. Going to Belgium, and that all happened because I was in Ciclo team racing, and Naveen was there to Naveen was kind enough to show the way that okay, there is a way we can go there and train as well. So I
Hmm.
think I don't know how he managed these guys, but uh,
Yeah.
we suggested them, okay, we guys are going to Europe and doing these things. So
Hmm.
then, yeah, so these guys supported us pretty much, and then we go to Belgium, and everybody knows because NJ has told many times. I was also written in my post that it was eye opener in Belgium doing one race because we both were the national champion, and while doing the first race in Belgium, we are not you know we could not stay there just for 1 hour. We are
Right.
just yeah, and even to complete a race, we did about like 5 or 6 races. Then we just finished one race. So that
Hmm.
was eye opener, and I can say that was the best thing that happened with me because after doing those races in Belgium in 2017, that was my first year with Ciclo Team Racing, and then somehow I managed to go there again in 2018, and
Hmm.
then 29 in 2019 as well, I think. So
Hmm.
3 consecutive years I was lucky enough to be in Belgium and train with the best guys,
Hmm.
and yeah, I learned a lot of things that helped me because when we are just training here in India, and I didn't see any benefits because how can you improve your results in terms of international level, because we only have Asian champs to participate.
Yeah.
So when I see from 2016 के पहले जो भी एशियन चैंप्स थे उसमें I could not even finish the race,
Right.
not even once. Even in Commonwealth Games, after so much dedication, motivation, and good equipment, everything I planned, and even the camps were there, I could not finish the Commonwealth Games race.
Hmm.
And even not any Asian champs. But
Right.
after 2016, when I started doing races in Belgium, that was the life-changing experience. And even now, I think, and in 2017, I thought that I think now I have started cycling. I just wasted my 10, 12 years in just for nothing.
That says a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I thought, okay, I did nothing, man. I learned nothing. There is a lot whole world of cycling to know to explore, and then I realized that we are nothing. We are just so small in this sport. Yeah, a lot
Hmm.
of athletes come and go, but yeah, you still
Yeah.
have to learn a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, those 3 years help a lot. Then we started gradually improving our positions in Asian Cycling Championships,
Hmm.
because then I remember me and Naveen did really good job in in Bahrain when we did Asian Cycling Champs, and after that in 2019 there was an Asian Cycling Championship in Uzbekistan,
Mm.
and I still remember it was too cold there. It's the snow peaks, mountains you can see in the distance, and it was too cold on that time trial day, and the wind is too fast, like a hurricane, and
Yeah.
but still, when I did the time trial, I was so motivated and so prepared that year because.
Mm.
Uh, like 2 months before I won my international inter railways gold. Then
Mm.
I won the world railways gold. Then
Right.
I got the national champs time trial gold
Mm.
in
In
2018.
2018. Mm.
Yeah, again. So I got the gold. Like I was on my peak fitness that time, and
Right.
even I was lucky enough to get a lot of competitions that year. So inter railways gold, then inter railways road race, and then nationals, and then I had chance to be there at just right at the right time, in
Right.
Asian Champs. I did my life best, even India's best performance. I could be able to do that. I was
Mm.
seventh in Asian Cycling Champs, and
Amazing.
in
Mm.
the time trial, and that was just 47 seconds behind the bronze medal,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So and all happened, and even the road race as well, because there was a 10 kilometers time finish in Uzbekistan. After 150 kilometers of road race, then you have 10 kilometers of hill.
Wow.
So
Mm.
yeah, I got some cramps that day, but I was still feeling good. So I think I finished 29th
Mm.
place. So that was
Yeah.
best. So we were not just finishing the race. We could say we were there in the race.
Yeah.
NJ did some really good attacks, in between, try to go
Right.
and
Yeah.
make a bridge. But yeah, so
So the
that
from
is,
not being able to finish these races to actually being a contender in being able to not only finish but being able to
yeah.
be a contender is a big change.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying like these Belgium races helped a lot of. I learned a lot of things. That
Mm.
gave me the confidence not just to compete but to win a medal in the time trial. And even that's
Yeah.
why NJ and I every time we say that we definitely have a chance to get a medal on the Asian Cycling Champs any day, anytime. But
Mm. Mm.
uh, yeah, but for that I think we need a lot of races. That's the lack
Yeah.
of lack of the time.
Right. Unfortunately, with the current situation, you are not able to go to Belgium and train as well for the last couple of years. So that, yeah, true, true, true. And yeah, so that is really good. So coming to, because you have seen now for the cycling for the last 15 years, more than 15 years. So how did what are the kind of changes that you have seen over the years in the ways cycling races are there, or how the field itself, how did it change over the years?
I think it's everything. I mean, athletes are more educated now, and
Mm,
they are kind of aware. Their families, their supporters are kind of aware. They know that what is the challenges they are going to face in the sport.
mm,
Everybody is now. I don't think like only few athletes are training just by their own, and I know they
mm,
are wasting the time.
mm.
But most of the athletes are training under the coach,
Correct.
and everybody is going for the power meter, and everybody is so smart athlete. When I
Yeah.
talk to these guys, because
Yeah.
now I'm coaching many athletes, so I know how these guys talk, how they are questioning,
Mm,
so this is the change I think I can say in the mindset of athletes we see
mm.
in these young athletes. It was
Right.
differently,
Mm.
and their
Yeah.
goal is more higher than I can set for myself 10 years back.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that is that is because someone like NJ has come into the picture, who who is training all around the year. It's not like there is couple of weeks before the nationals or anything like that, right? And is someone like you have started coaching, dedicatedly taking coaching and continuing to improve. And people like you and NJ are have started coaching and helping others and spreading that knowledge. So there is no doubt that the level that we are seeing now is growing, and I have no doubts that it will continue to grow. And those performances at Asian level and beyond, I think are really a possibility now, from you guys, as well as with the future guys that are talent that is coming up.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Now, if you see, now you have seen my story and my journey. As I told you, like, I think
Yeah.
I just started 5 years back my cycling in Europe.
Right.
So many junior athletes hear this thing, like, okay, so Belgium is the thing. So he
Yeah.
already has something in his mind, like, okay, one day I'll go to Belgium, I'll do
Mm.
these races, and so they
Yeah.
are already 10 years ahead than me. you
Right.
know
Yeah.
so, and that was the main thing I like the core of my coaching.
Mm.
Like, I don't want it to you know just waste the athletes time. I want them to learn at the right time, because
Yeah.
there is always a time when
Mm.
athlete is so motivated, so dedicated, and he can do anything. He don't have fear in his mind as
Yeah.
well.
Mm.
His family also supports, and then if you don't get that kind of coaching, or mentoring, or the guidance, you're just wasting a precious time of your life.
Right.
So that's why I started VeloInsight coaching, because I think if athletes, and now I think I have like many athletes under 14 and under 16 categories. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, those young guys, and they are taking coaching seriously.
Yeah.
So remember the future of Indian cycling, like where they are gonna be if they train consistency,
Yeah.
like consistent training for 10 years. So they are definitely going to be the Asian champs, or maybe more than that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there is no doubt.
Definitely, with you guys at the helm, guiding them, I think future is definitely looking bright for the upcoming talent. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, how does for the listeners to kind of take a little bit away in terms of the training and the hydration and nutrition aspects, right? How does your typical training cycle look like, the leading up to nationals or other events?
So it's pretty much the same every year, but I keep changing things a little bit, just to uh, get a more, you can say, like marginal gains
Mm,
every time, in terms of equipment or maybe nutrition as well, because
mm,
sometimes you have nationals in Mumbai, it's a
mm,
heated area, and
mm,
sometimes you have nationals in Haryana, like this one, it's pretty cold. So yeah, you definitely have some changes in strategy for nutrition, hydration as well. Yeah, but
mm.
so it's the same, when I have this routine, like I woke up in the morning, and then finish my breakfast up to 8 a.m., and then after 1 hour I just go on the ride. Pretty much we do this the same thing in Europe, in Belgium, because if you have a good weather, you can train
Mm.
the whole day.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the best time to train, I think, because I've heard some guys doing training for two times, like one session in the morning and then second in the evening,
Mm,
and both are the hard session. I think if you don't have an objective like that, if you don't have race kind of in a track racing you definitely need like 2 3 sessions in a day,
mm,
but I don't
mm,
think in a road nationals or for the road events you need 2 sessions. Yeah, that
mm,
definitely depends if your event is afternoon or before noon, but
mm,
yeah, so you can train according to that. Yeah.
mm,
So that's my main, I
mm,
just had my breakfast and just get ready for the training. And then
mm.
after the training, I just have lunch and take a nap. So that's pretty much my day. And after in the evening as well, if if you have any session like stretching, say,
Mm,
yoga, or maybe a gym session, so then
mm,
I go for that.
And then the coaching work and all that also comes into the
Yeah,
picture, I think. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice, nice. So, excellent. So, what are the kind of tips that you would give aspiring athletes to do well at there are many young athletes that are coming up, starting at they will be doing studies and then also want to do well at nationals and state level and national level and stuff like that. What are some of the tips that you would give aspiring athletes, student athletes and working athletes?
So I will say that everyone has 24 hours in a day. So
Mm,
it's all about like how you gonna manage your time. So whenever you are a student or an athlete or a working athlete, so you just have to manage your time very well. If you are a student, so definitely you are going to school, and the things in different in corona, but suppose you are a routine school boys and who are also pursuing his passion towards the sport, so definitely dedicate some time in the evening. And it's all about the consistency.
mm,
Actually, that's the word, consistency. So whatever kind of athlete you are, a part-time athlete, full-time, or just give a dedicated time every day. I think that consistencies will make you, a better athlete or a better person. So
right.
that's the only tip I can give, because
Mm,
everybody has a lot of knowledge these days. There are internet, there are a lot of videos, there are a lot of stuff out there, but you don't
mm,
need to grab everything from there. You just have to manage your time, and whatever your passion is, just give some time and like pure time to that
right.
thing,
Yeah.
whatever that
Yeah.
passion is. So
Yeah.
that's a small thing becomes a big picture in long term if you are
Mm,
dedicating your time. So
right.
that's the only thing.
Super. Oh, it's been fantastic chat, Arvind. I've thoroughly enjoyed, knowing more about your journey from under 18 kid who can travel to Delhi on his own to try and make something to now, but kind of veteran in Indian cycling with a lot of experience and guiding the kids like that to do well at sport and grow in sport. The kind of work you guys are doing, you and NJ and others, is really commendable. I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing your journey with the Working Athlete podcast.
Yeah, thanks, Venki. Thanks for inviting. Actually, I was waiting for so long for this pod. We had this in line since nationals, and I didn't get time. But and I don't know if I explained really well, but I'm really enjoyed talking to you, and it's my pleasure. Thanks, man.
You did explain very well, indeed. Thank you. That was my conversation with Arvind. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you are enjoying these podcasts, please subscribe to the channel on YouTube. It really helps. Also, subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Thank you for your support. See you next week with another guest.